Hello everyone, welcome to Betty Academy. Our job is to make school easier. Kindly watch, subscribe, like, share, comment, hit the notification bell. So in this lesson, we are going to learn about how to prepare marginal costing statement and absorption costing statement. To start with, marginal costing, Marginal costing is based on classifying costs by behavior. In other words, whether a cost is variable or fixed. Absorption costing, on the other hand, focuses on whether a cost is direct or indirect by nature. So we are going to use this particular illustration. Let's read together. We have XYZ company makes 100 bikes each week. This is where I'm reading each week, and its costs are as follows. We have direct materials 4 million, direct labor 5 million, production overheads 5 million. Note, direct materials and labor are fixed cost of the production overheads. We have 2 million is a fixed cost. The remainder is variable cost. Selling price of each bike is 200,000 shillings. Required: A. Calculate the marginal cost of producing each bike. B. Calculate the expected contribution per bike. C. Prepare a marginal costing statement. So, how do you go about that? So, just from what I started with, marginal costing is based on classifying costs by behavior. So we have this one: A, calculate marginal cost of producing each bike. So these are the costs that we have for 100 bikes. So we'll start with direct materials 4 million. You divide by the 100 bikes, you get 40,000. Direct labor 5 million, divide by 100, you get 50,000. Then production overheads, we are given, of the production overheads, 2 million is a fixed cost. The remainder is what is variable. So 5 million minus 2 million, you get 3 million, which is this, you get 3 million. So 3 million divided by 100 bikes, you get 30,000. So the marginal cost per bike, you get the total, which is 120,000. Let's go to B. B, you are told, calculate the expected contribution per bike. So contribution usually is selling price, it's sales minus variable cost. But in this case, you are told per bike. So what we'll do is we'll get the selling price per bike, which is selling price of each bike is 200,000, which is this, and less variable cost. In this case, the variable cost, this is what comprises the variable cost, and it is 120,000. So 200,000 minus 120,000, you get 80,000, which is the contribution per bike. Let's go to C. Prepare a marginal costing statement. With a marginal costing statement, this one was the marginal cost of producing each bike. So this one is the marginal cost per unit. So what you are going to do is, you are told to prepare a marginal costing statement for the 100 bikes, not per bike, but for the 100 bikes. So this is what you'll have. Remember, before we go to the solution, we have selling price of each bike is 200,000. So you'll have sales, which is you have your 200,000 times 100 bikes, you get 20 million. Then the variable cost, direct materials 4 million, 5 million, and these, when you remember the note of the production overheads, 2 million were fixed costs. So the remainder is what we have as variable, which is 3 million. You get the total 12 million. 20 million minus 12 million, you get your total contribution as 8 million. Then less fixed cost. The fixed cost that we have is of, still under the note, this particular note, of the production overheads, 2 million is fixed. And that's the reason why we have our 2 million here, which is fixed. Then you get 80 million minus 2 million, you get 6 million. Then we are done up to that particular point. So under marginal costing statement, the profit for the week is 6 million. So normally, this particular question, it's normally tested on two areas whereby you are required to prepare under marginal costing and again under absorption costing. So let's move on to absorption costing per week. Cost per week, we have the total cost per week. You'll have again direct materials, direct labor, production, overheads, but in this case you don't classify. This one is under absorption costing, where it's just focusing on whether a cost is direct or indirect by nature. So in this case, you just take it as it is. 4 million, 5 million, 5 million, you get 14 million. So the absorption cost of producing one bike, this one is the cost for producing 100 bikes. So the total cost is 14 million. The units of output, how many bikes were produced? 100 bikes. So you'll have 140,000 per bike. Then you are asked, what will be the profit each week? So the selling price is 200,000. Yeah, that one had been given. That is the selling price, which is 200,000. Then you are told less total cost. In this case, the total cost is 14 million. So 20 million minus 14 million, you get 6 million, right? Yeah, so what is the profit for the week? The profit for the week is 6 million. So under marginal costing, we'll have the profit for the week is 6 million. And absorption costing, again, you get 6 million. I hope you are together up to that point. Yeah. So you realize that by the end of the day, the profits are the same. So being that the profits are the same under both marginal costing method and absorption costing method, so we could say, does it matter whether we use marginal or absorption costing? The answer to this is that it does matter. Yeah, because you will ask yourself, what is the essence of preparing under marginal costing statement and under absorption costing statement? And by the end of it all, you will have the profit being equal. So the reason is we have marginal costing. It does matter because marginal costing, with its focus on variable cost. Remember, marginal costing, it focuses on classifying costs by the way they behave, yeah, by their nature of behavior. So marginal costing, with its focus on variable cost and contribution, is useful for short-term decision making. So if you want to make a short-term decision making, yeah, so marginal costing is the best method to use. Yeah, because in the long run, when you look at in the long run, even fixed costs, they start their behavior changes and they also become variable, right? So but in the short term, when you're making short-term decision making, marginal costing is the best method to use. Then we go to the other one. Absorption costing, yeah, does it matter? Again, yeah, it does matter because absorption costing is a simple method of calculating the cost of output and is used in financial statements for inventory valuation, right? It is just a simple method. You just take the total sales minus the total cost, you get your profit. So it's a simple method, yeah, and it is very direct when you want to calculate the cost of output. And again, it's also used in financial statements for inventory valuation. I hope you've learned something, yeah, under marginal and absorption costing. This one is a reminder. Kindly subscribe and watch out for our next video. Until next time, it's a goodbye.